So Penduga asks a simple question.
You know what? I want to ask him, bro, right? Like, a lot of African countries are very conservative and reserved. And a guy like you, a lot of times, it's difficult. We see them in America, they make it, you know, crazy, well, in inverted commas, speak their mind, do as they please. How did you crack it in Africa to be this eccentric and still be like the #1 artist in the whole country?
And man, he wasn't the only one that was shocked by the answer.
Imagine this. Hey yo, check it out. The punchline would come out of where the punchline would never come out of.
In fact, he was bemused. He was lost. He was confused.
Drop the fucking thing of yours.
The punchline will what?
Will come out of where the punchline will never come out of.
I went through the comments in this video and I was quite surprised. The guys from Botswana said they understood exactly what A.T.I was saying. They could relate, largely because they could relate to his music. But the thing about this platform of podcast and chill is that us, the audience, usually are not well acquainted with the guest. So it offers us the opportunity to get to know the person behind the music, the person behind the art, or the person behind whatever career stream that they are in. So that's why this video actually struck me. And I had to watch it more than once in a very short span of time. I was confused. He's an intriguing guy, but what is it about him that people love? What is it about him that we can learn? Frankly, from this interview, there isn't a lot. But I made notes, lots of notes, in trying to figure out what is it about him that the fellow South African or even the people of Botswana can learn and take as lessons from this particular interview. One of the key things for me is that it made me wonder, what if this guy was South African? What if he was 𝐷𝐿𝐴 𝐔𝐬𝐿𝐴?
So he's like the 𝐷𝐿𝐴 𝐔𝐬𝐿𝐴 of Botswana.
And 𝐷𝐿𝐴 𝐔𝐬𝐿𝐴 actually acted like that in front of 𝐼𝐺 and so. What would the South Africans have said? Would they have said, actually, it's okay, it's him, it's his personality. Let's just go with the flow. Go, listen to his music. Be proud of what he is doing as a South African. The truth is, they wouldn't have. As South Africans, we would have judged the person. We would have actually commented negatively about the particular artist and the particular guest. Us as chillers, we're going to question whether this interview even deserves to come out.
Bro, and I don't owe you no explanation as to why I am the way I am.
Hey man, this nigga's wild. Can we take him back to SA, man? This nigga.
So the first kudos I'm going to give is a kudos to the Botswana people. Why? Because frankly, they are supporting each and everything that came out of his mouth. Even the things that didn't make sense. And this is not me judging the people of Botswana and trying to pretend that I'm better than them. No. All I'm saying is that it surprises me that despite the fact that it looked as if as a guest, A.T.I was not well, he was not happy, he was not comfortable, but he was there to speak his mind.
May I speak? May I please speak? You can't.
Bro,
right?
speak all you want, bro. You are our guest. Speak all you want.
Thank you so much.
In speaking his mind, he was going around circles. He was dodging questions. He was trying to take control of the interview. In fact, to me, he was trying to sound like a profound being, but ended up confusing the hell out of me. There were some questions that were just straightforward questions that needed a yes or no. One example I can cite is this one, where 𝐼𝐺 simply asked, what did your mother do for a living? All of us here in Botswana, most of our parents were teachers.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
My guy, they're asking you a straightforward question. What did your mother do?
So your mom was a teacher?
My mom was a teacher.
Oh, okay.
And then what did the father do? Also, very confused individual. Not precisely speaking to what the father did and the role and the journey that brought him up to being at the caliber of artistry that he's in now as a representative of Botswana.
Do you still know what his dad did? I still don't know what his dad did.
He was a Rolling Stone. When things are bad, he made them seem good.
That's what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Now here's an important thing to grasp. I don't know A.T.I from a bar of soap. Or at least I didn't prior to this interview. And guess what? It remains so even now. I still don't know much about A.T.I. I don't know about his upbringing. I don't know much about the back end of his backstory. I don't know much about his journey. All I know is that he once kidnapped a promoter. And that I know from the Monday episode where 𝐷 actually gave some sort of motivated answer as to the question that he himself posed to A.T.I.
That guy is crazy, man.
Oh.
Which to itself speaks badly about how the interview actually went. But I'd like to take this opportunity to give kudos to 𝐷 and Soul because they actually did a good job. A lot of interviewers, a lot of people trying to engage in a proper conversation where you're trying to get to know the guest, a lot of them wouldn't have handled it with such stride, with such poise, with such comfort, with such ease. So that speaks also to the growth of 𝐷 as an interviewer and also the interactions that Soul put in as the co-host, as it were. But I'd like to give that special shout out to 𝐷 and Soul for that. But now trying to get into the person, A.T.I, on screen, the persona that I saw, to me, I thought he was just acting out.
No,
Dope.
but he's wild, bro. He's like, do you know Freddie Mercury?
Freddie Mercury, yes?
Yeah, black version.
Oh, wow.
I thought he looked like a lost soul. I thought he was going to use basically that platform as an anchor for him to vent, for him to spill out his hurt and his pain. Because honestly, I heard changes in the tempo of his voice. I heard changes in the way he was speaking, the way he was expressing himself, the way he was trying to tell his story. He wasn't articulating himself well. He sounded like a lost soul. I mean, 𝐷 was honest and straightforward enough to ask whether he was on grandpa.
Are you on grandpa, bro?
Pardon?
Are you on grandpa right now?
Pardon?
Are you on grandpa?
What does grandpa do?
Tell him so.
His grandpa is the Rolling Stone.
And if you are a chiller and you've watched some of the episodes on Podcast and Chill, you know what that grandpa actually means or refers to.
Crazy.
But he was on something. I suspect grandpa, man.
I think it's just a creative, man. I think it's just a creative or just excited. You think it's grandpa?
Yeah, because even after the interview, he was crying, bro. Backstage.
Crying.
He was crying.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, hey, why God? Why me? I'm like, hey.
I've read up now, given the opportunity. I went to the internet, read up a bit about A.T.I, and I saw that back in 2020 he went to rehab, right? So it was actually a warranted question at that particular point in time. But there were so many escalations in the tempo, in his emotions. They were very erratic. There was some places where he actually acted out of place, right? It was misplaced anger, particularly to the lady that was just asking about, how the journey of podcasting actually continued for 𝐷 and Soul and how they wanted to benefit from that particular journey.
It's laughable right now. You gotta ask yourself, why is A.T.I still A.T.I? If you think I'm crazy.
I believe that behind all that acting out, there's a lot of hurt and a lot of pain and a lot of challenges. But also, I picked up a lot, particularly from the comments in that video, that he needs help of some sort. Some things aren't even to joke about that much. Either that or it's just an issue of emotional intelligence. But I'd like to think it as the former rather than the latter. So there's no way I can ever talk down on a topic as important as mental health. Having interviewed some clinical psychologists on this channel, having done a few interviews on my own based on mental health, based on depression, having read up, done some research, having had some form of interactions and engagements with people that have gone through some sort of mental health challenges, I could never speak down on such topics. When he spoke about suicide,
I want to commit suicide. I've tried suicide when I was a kid so many times, you know what I'm saying? And this is a beautiful story. Don't get it twisted. Yo. I tried suicide so many times to a point whereby I was like, I gotta live with it. I gotta live with what I don't understand and why I feel like people would rather be something they're not, whereas who they are is always at their abundance. You know what I'm saying?
When he spoke about his challenge growing up and attempting suicide at an earlier age, and the grandparents and parents not necessarily recognizing those challenges and actually not being inclined and understanding and knowing exactly what is going on with this young man, that is something that I took seriously and didn't take quite lightly. When he spoke about the issues of drugs, when he spoke about his second attempt of suicide at 25. You see, guys, I was listening. I was paying attention as closely as I was trying to, right? Those are serious topics. And if there's something that we can take from this video, is that we must take the issue of mental health very seriously. We mustn't compromise on our mental health. We must take care of our minds. We must take care of our bodies. We must understand that they intertwine to build us as individuals who have a role to play in society. Celebs have a lot of influence. And unfortunately, that influence comes also with a lot of baggage. The Ricky Rick story, in fact. Let's not see another Ricky Rick through this young man. Let's hope that he's gonna go out and reach out for help. I read that in 2020, he went for rehab, right? Let's hope that he was gonna recover from the mental health traumas and challenges and all the illusions of success that he may be suffering from. Let's hope that you, as the viewer right now, you didn't just watch and become entertained and leave, or watch and leave less entertained without actually learning something from this journey of A.T.I, this young man from Botswana. There's much to be desired about how that interview went, but there's also a lot that we can encapsulate and learn from that particular journey. Mental health is serious. Suicides are serious. And people in this industry seem to be more fragile than others. So in supporting them, in hearing them, let's not dupe them. Let's not make them think that they are our idols and our gods. Let's admire them, let's learn from them, but let's also take the issues of our own personal health seriously, because ultimately it does start with you. So intrinsically, inside of you, the essence of mental health has to start with you taking care of yourself and being able to recognize when you are not well so that you can take the necessary steps to become well. It starts with you. I reckon that it's also important that the guests and the people that join the platform, as big a platform as Podcast and Chill, actually know what they're getting themselves into. They're getting themselves into a situation of vulnerability, in that us, the viewers, us, the chillers, will always have an opinion around what we are watching, will always have an opinion around what we are seeing. And because of that, they need to be trained to some extent in being able to listen to a question, being able to render a proper answer, a satisfactory answer, one that satisfies the people that are actually watching the program, but also satisfies the interviewer, so that they don't leave as confused as they were about you prior to the interview. Right? They have to have learned something, they have to have clicked with you, they have to have engaged with you, and they have to have utilized your influence in your region, in your sector, in your career, in your sphere of success or spectrum of success, and they are meant to also utilize theirs so that there's reciprocation of a relationship between what you learn from them and what you take from the interaction, and vice versa. So the guests themselves have to be prepared in knowing the platform that they are going to. If they are going to an educational platform where they are going to spew out knowledge and education and influence young, impressionable minds, then they need to utilize that opportunity as much as possible. I understand Podcast and Chill is not necessarily that type of platform, right? But within the reach, the power and influence that the platform itself has, we need to take advantage of that. Secondly, in training yourself to be more comfortable in front of the camera, to be more comfortable in relaying your message and telling your story and narrating and orating yourself as best as possible, then use the opportunity to canvas that talent. Use the opportunity to spread your word and message in the best possible way that you can do that. It's been done. It's been showcased. We've seen it on Podcast and Chill. We've seen it on the Hustlers Corner with DJ Spoo. We've seen it on many platforms. If we're gonna emulate platforms such as the Joe Rogan Experience and many others, then we as the individuals on the side of viewing the platform, we need to share and gain. And those that are giving out the knowledge need to be able to articulate themselves well enough for us to take and grab the value that is necessary for us in the process. Honestly, there has to be some sort of separation between the artist and the art. There has to be some sort of separation between the person and the career. We want to know who is this guy. We want to know what is he all about. We want to know what is he venturing into coming forward. We want to know which project is coming next.
One to A.T.I, what's next? What's the big upcoming project that you're working on?
We want to know what inspires him. We want to know what impact he'd like to actually have on the world.
That's where everybody always falls short. What you got working on next? I'm not working on anything. I'm living. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we'd like to know, why do the Botswana people actually love him so much? Those are things that we come to Podcast and Chill for. We come to resonate more and more with the people that are guests because they are able to influence their place to a seat next to 𝐌𝐿 and so. People that we respect very much on this particular platform. People that we invest our time to watch, consume, and actually donate to, become members to Podcast and Chill, and actually invest in some sort of a relationship with them. So I feel that was a missed opportunity in trying to influence us as new fans that can actually gel into the journey with him along the road to his coming success.
Drops mic.
Don't get me started on his performance. If this platform was meant to get me to become a new fan of his, then he didn't do justice. I heard in the lyricism, in the way in which he tried to deliver his message, but the vocals come on, let's be honest, it wasn't such a good performance. And not to be too hard on the guy, right? Maybe it could have been the grandeur, maybe it could have been the grandpa, maybe it could have been his inner battles, inner turmoils, and the theatrics that he was trying to pull. But honestly, I haven't listened to his music solely because I wasn't happy with what I saw, what I heard, what I listened to, and what I'd be happy to actually share with my mates, with my friends, with even my wife or my loved ones, right? We come to this platform to be entertained, yes, but we also come to learn about people that have basically summoned a lot of celebrityness, a lot of influence amongst their peers and others. And for me, it didn't actually do justice. So I believe that he should actually go back to the drawing board when it comes to the performance element for a spontaneous related performance, as it were. So the interview itself was almost relatively short.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, man. A.T.I, thank you so much, man.
Then what does that mean? If an interviewer tries to cut the interview, it's because they are not getting through you and they are not getting from you what is required of the expectation that they had prior to having that interview with you. The longer an interview goes on Podcast and Chill, then you know that it's beneficial for us as chillers. So maybe, perhaps, in a couple of years, after levels of maturity have come through, after levels of emotional health have come through, or emotional intelligence have come through, after levels of mental, intellectual acumen that is focused and well articulated has come through, maybe you can bring him back, and maybe that's when he can have a positive influence on us. But for now, all I've got to say is thank you for watching. I appreciate you. It starts with you, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.